Hello and welcome to tonight's game. We are Crit Fail and we are very honoured to be doing the Planet of the Apes Quickstart. The Kickstarter is on now and it's got tons of great things. The books look beautiful. They're written by Andrew E.C. Gaska. They're released by Magnetic Press Play, which if any of you have seen Carbon Grey, you will know the quality that you will be getting. There is miniatures, some books, there is a patch, there's all sorts of stuff. Planet of the Apes Kickstarter, type it into your search engine and check it out. I am Ghost, and I am joined by other members of Critfail.
I'm Special Patrol Ghost.
I'm Emily.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Raven Insane.
The room is shaded and a few degrees cooler than the area outside. It is sparsely populated with items. Most notable is a large desk. An orangutan is pacing back and forth. His fingers are twitching and a deep frown is in his brow. At the open window, holding a cup and looking out at the settlement, is one of the largest gorillas that there ever has been. It's about time. We can finally deal with this infernal nuisance. The orangutan bursts out. The gorilla does not turn around. The door opens and a chimp walks in. Prefect Janus is outside. And they look at him. Send him in. A few seconds later, the chimp returns to Janus. You may enter, they say to you.
Janice nods and enters.
The orangutan is still looking somewhat agitated. How did you let this happen? Do you not pay any attention to the area around you? He points a gnarly finger at you.
I've done all I can. It is you who gives no support.
They spread disease. The stench is unbearable. They ruin our crops. The gorilla looks back slowly as he places his cup down. Calm yourself, Doctor, or I fear I will be required to send for the medics for you. Remember your heart. The doctor takes a deep breath and nods. He is correct, however. We have reviewed your request since you have been unable to deal with your man problem by yourself. We have assembled a team for you to take on the expedition to put a stop to this. If they are as feral and as rabid as you claim, then we cannot risk them or our stock being exposed to them. Some porters, horses, a cart, and needed gear, as well as the team. You will find them outside in the courtyard.
Appreciated. And Janice will walk away.
After he leaves, the orangutan turns round and looks at the gorilla. This feels complicated. It is an unlosable position, Doctor. The orangutan narrows his eyes, puzzled. Also, if they remove the problem of man, we win. The gorilla looks back through the window at one of the apes in the expedition. The doctor follows his gaze. Apes don't kill apes. No, Doctor. But in the wilds, accidents happen. If that occurs, a different nuisance is removed. And that also is a win. The doctor smiles and turns to make his way out of the room. If I didn't know better, I'd say you were after my position. You should have been a statesman. The gorilla retrieves his cup and after the doctor has left. How do you know I'm not? Scene 2. Janice, in the courtyard, arrives. There is several porters, a cart, a couple of horses pulling it, several horses, enough for the main members of the party.
A very large gorilla in browns, no leather or armor seen about them, so unusual, not a soldier, carrying a number of items such as bags and a rope on their belt, and on the other side of their belt they have another small bag attached. Turns to one of the older members of the assembled group there, and Atticus, sir, do you know why we're here? I've got all your stuff. It's all piled here neatly, and I'm all ready to carry it, but should we load it up?
And an old greying gorilla, slightly hunched over, limps towards his porter. Yes, yes. Store it on there. I have no such time for frivolities. Janice, what is this? Where are we going?
The where doesn't matter, it's about the why. We're putting a pest down. A nuisance. A feral, rabid human.
Atticus adjusts his leather waistcoat and looks around with a grumpy expression, walks over to the porter and violently takes his 88 manhunter from him and checks the barrel, looks down the end of it, makes sure it's clear, and cocks it and loads it. I hope you're paying us for this.
Yes, yes. You'll get your money once you do your job.
So a rabid human, huh? How deadly is this rabid human?
More horrific than anything you've seen, I can assure you.
Ah, a worthy challenge then.
A pest.
And observing this conversation happening, but not interjecting or saying, a rather bright-eyed chimpanzee is off to one side, carefully packing glass plates and vials of powder into a satchel. Every so often, she pulls a very worn-looking notebook out of a pocket of her leather vest and scribbles something down before putting it back and just continuing to observe the unfolding situation.
Kolo has easily lifted all the bags up on Atticus's horse, secured them, and then moved to his own.
And Atticus limps over and double checks all the straps to make sure that they're tight. Can never trust a porter.
You journey for a couple of days and stop briefly at the village of Salta. There you restock on perishables before heading into the jungle. Sometime you awaken to screaming, and the bright flickering of fire is playing through the side of your tent.
Run outside.
Yep, Jamila's gonna see what's going on.
Janice will peek his head out.
You can see the last of the horses are running in panic out of the camp. The cart is fully aflame. The food and ammunition is burning or cooking off. You can see one of the gorilla porters is staggering and flailing about as they are engulfed in flame. You can see 3 other porters are laying on the ground, and 2 seem to be unhurt.
Jamila wants to shove that porter onto so they can roll and put the fire out.
Might as well we'll do a roll. Might as well do the first roll of the
Hooray.
night. Some form of physical roll.
I'm assuming that's going to be well, for me, it's going to have to be strength because I don't have any strength-specific skills, so it's just going to have to be straight. Okay, so my strength is 3 plus 2. I'm just going to roll the dice and then add the 2 on after. Okay, so it's going to be 14 is the total, but I also got a 6 on the wild die, so that means something is good. This is fairly chaotic, and the first thing that draws Jamila's attention is the one gorilla porter who is screaming and staggering about, actively burning. They are still aflame, and she is going to run. The first thought she has in her mind is that if you roll on the ground, if your fur accidentally catches fire, you can put it out that way. So she's going to try and shove this gorilla. Now, they are a fair bit bigger than her and a lot stronger, but as they are sort of just staggering around and probably not focusing on balance at the moment, she is able to knock them over, and through a combination of either trying to get them to roll or just throwing some sand on top of them, put out at least most of the flames. And while doing this, she does notice that although the overwhelming smell in the air is smoke and the really unpleasant smell of burning hair, there is another smell underneath that seems more artificial, a strong sort of alcohol smell. It seems out of place.
Kolo's first thought when he sees the carts aflame is knowing that Atticus's extra stuff is stored there. Takes off at a dead, four-limbed run towards it, hoping to pull at least something off the carts. But the fires are just burning way too hot, and even though he tries to get close and tries to reach towards something, almost singes and maybe does singe a little bit of his fur, but he has to pull back because it's just too hot, and he stumbles back away from the carts.
And Atticus, hearing the commotion, straps on his leather waistcoat, slides his sidearm into his holster, checks his rifle, sheathes his knife, all while the commotion is going on outside. He stands up and makes himself look presentable and steps out through the flaps of his tent. "I shall have you!" He raises his rifle up in the air. "Go! My equipment!"
And scrambles towards the elderly Atticus. "Sir, I tried to get it, but it's all aflame. It's burning too hot to get to. Plus, your ammo's in there. I'm worried that if we get too close, it'll go up."
You flat-footed beast. May the Lord give me strength.
"Yes, sir. I'll do better next time, sir."
The camp is quieter. The screaming has stopped. The remaining porters look fearful. And the cart is well aflame and slowly starting to burn out.
I was just going to say Janice will finally leave after things have died down. I tell you all about how ferocious and violent these creatures are, and yet we let our guard down.
I don't think this could have been done by humans.
I thought humans were just beasts. They wouldn't do something like this. Could they do something like this?
They are their scavengers.
This fire was set intentionally.
Apes don't kill apes.
No, but someone set this fire. So, what? We've got two options. Someone's ignoring that little rule, or humans are intentionally using accelerant to set fires now. Which is more likely?
Well,
What do you think?
I would say perhaps maybe the humans sought to...
But they didn't set fires, did they?
No, they did not set fires, but Well, they didn't set fire to our camps, but they did have fire back in their encampments. If that's what you're asking. Journalist, and he sort of leans high and over the small creature before him.
Yes, old man, your tales are amazing. Humans see and humans mimic. Is it that hard to believe?
I find it unusual, sir. I'm sure you have a better understanding of these things. I have never heard of humans using accelerants. Have you?
I'll admit no. But what else could be this vicious?
Kolo's been looking over the other dead porters and such to see if he can tell what killed them.
Not bad.
So I rolled 10.
2 5s.
Kolo stands up from where he is kneeling by the porters that were killed. Sir, he addresses Atticus. These ones seem to have had their throats cut. That one there stabbed in the back.
Atticus stops leering at the journalist in front of him and turns. Kolo, you magnificent beast. Their throats cut? I can scarcely believe it. No human could get the drop on an ape.
I could be wrong, sir. After all, I was not able to get into the military, so I don't have quite the training.
Yes, flat-footed and all that, yes, I know. And Atticus limps over to the dead bodies and examines them.
Well, that leaves us with the same question. If you say humans couldn't do this, then what could? Jamila's got out her notebook, and she's been writing things furiously, and she's going to go over to one of the living porters and start asking questions. What did you see?
Fire.
And nothing else?
No, we were preparing the packs for tomorrow over there, and they point. And then suddenly, and they point to the burnt one, he just started screaming. He was alight, and the cart went up at the same time. I didn't see anything. I don't know. It's like it came from the jungle, like the jungle came alive.
Did you hear anything?
Only the screaming.
I see. Thank you. And she writes some more things down.
It looks like all of our extra gear and everything has either been destroyed or taken. We just seem to have what we have amongst us. I don't think there's any point going back to sleep. I know I can't sleep in this. Cole starts breaking down their tent.
I'd rather not sleep here anymore. No.
Kolo, make sure to break down my tent as well.
Yes, sir.
You there, journalist.
Yes.
Is that the ape that was on fire? And he points to the one on the ground that was
On fire. She looks down at the severely burned gorilla whose fur is still slightly smoldering, looks back at Atticus and says, yes.
Where was this ape running from?
From what I understand, he was near the supplies that also caught fire.
I wonder.
What?
Janice, how successful was this trip meant to be? To me, and he looks down at the burnt ape and over at the burnt supplies, this mission was supposed to end before we even got started.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean to say is, to me, it looks like this gorilla used too much accelerant and lit himself on fire while trying to destroy our supplies, therefore cutting our trip short.
But what about the other porters who were stabbed? I'm sure you're not suggesting that He, and she points at the burned gorilla,
And he scratches his head, thinking, ape does not kill ape.
precisely.
I believe a human can mimic fire, but mimicking the use of knives and that's absurd. Something is not right here.
Again, to me, it sounds like our only two choices are a lawless ape or a very advanced human, and I'm not too sure I like the sound of either. Though I'll admit, an interesting story either way.
I have been on this earth for 58 years.
Janice would like to wave over the the reporter.
All right, she will walk over to him. What is
Make
it?
a little note. He needs to be put in retirement or something.
I can certainly write that, but I have no authority to make it happen. I'm sure you understand, Prefect.
Hey, I understand. This needs to go public.
I'm certainly happy to write an article about a. Sure. Sure. She makes some notes.
All right, Sarah, I've broken down your tents. They're all ready to go. Kolo has slung 2 tents and 2 people's gear up on their back.
What is the plan for this expedition? Are we continuing despite this?
Well, I guess being the most experienced here, you're all looking to me for guidance. I shall scout the area for tracks.
Kolo was actually looking at Janice, but looks over at.
So was Jamila. So Cole. Yeah, we're both, and then Atticus, who no one's looking at, just goes, "Well, since you're all looking to me."
Kolo just looks at Jamila, shrugs, and then looks back at Janice.
Yep, Jamila's
You
still
can
looking
give me
to
a
Janice.
perception check.
You'll all be
Atticus is
safe
doing-
in my hands. I
Is
hope.
Atticus doing a perception check?
Since you said you were looking for tracks.
Aha! My keen eyes have spotted prints in the sand. They lead off into this direction as he walks off into the forest.
Sir, Kolo will hurry over after Atticus, but stops very briefly where he had said he saw the prints and plants his own foot down beside the prints to note, are they the same? Do they have the prehensile feet of an ape? These prints?
I'd say indistinguishable.
And then heads off after Atticus.
Standing looking down,
Sir?
the tracks, they're gone. Whoever did this is smart. They're covering their tracks.
Do humans do that?
I have not known humans to do that in all the 58 years I've been hunting them. Oh dear, the Lord giver doth worry me so. Why does the lawgiver worry me? I don't know. I'm confusing myself. No, I'm on a rant. I'm going to stop.
There, sir. There, sir. Here's some water.
Thank you, Colo. Without your flat-footed grace, I would be lost in a world of misery and apes.
Janice will glance at the reporter again and just.
Jamila's looking to Janice and says, "Are we going after them?"
I don't know if I want to be near him.
Well, I believe, as leader of the expedition, it is up to you to decide if we continue or turn back.
As much as that gorilla freaks me out, I want to put this feral beast, whatever it is, in its place.
Well, then I think our best chance is to follow that gorilla you find so disconcerting. As all evidence to the contrary, I'm told he's the best hunter available.
That is concerning.
Very well. Shall we?
A path forms in the jungle. The ground is smooth, and where there are rocks, they are flat. The jungle has receded about 40 feet on each side. The veteran, the area is exposed, but travel is easy.
Ah, a dry creek bed. Clever. Very clever indeed.
The creek bed is?
Yes, rocky path, dry creek bed. It's a great way to mask your tracks.
I see.
The path moves into an area where a small stream starts to trickle out from under a rock. It grows as the terrain gently slopes down, and at its end is a rocky depression filled with water, which is making a pond.
Right.
Kolo will look too while he's busy filling up the water jugs.
I got 24, but I did get a 1 on the wild die. She's going to, noticing that our people are still also having a look around and we're not just immediately passing through, she's going to set up her camera and take a picture of the boot print.
Atticus is going to walk around as well, trying to observe, pick up the trail, and I got 10. What are you taking a picture of there?
Prints.
I would say Janice would like to watch what you're doing. He's not gonna look around on his own. That's not
Fine.
his job.
I'm taking a picture of boot prints.
And Atticus quickly hobbles over, looks down at the print. This print could be days old for all we know.
It could be.
But if you want to waste time taking photos,
Just the one.
if we've filled up all our water, the water is fresh, mind you.
Kolo hands back the water skins to everyone.
And Jamila will pack her camera back up.
Thank you, my flat-footed friend. And he takes a big swig out of the water skin.
You just notice Kolo reach into their bag at their that's hanging off their belt, and just you hear faintly crinkling of paper.
Right, let's get a move on.
Janice, sir, where are we going anyways? Is there an end to this where we were headed before? So we don't have a set place for that we're headed. Are we just looking around for these humans then? Signs of them? Because I have a map of the general area, and there are certain watering holes and stuff we could check, and various other places.
It doesn't matter where we look as long as we find them. They can't have gone far.
Yes, sir. Atticus, sir, I believe the next place we should check is that way.
Mm.
I'll flash him my map and show him.
Yeah, he's right. Eye Ridge raises. If you say so, my flat-footed friend, let's go. I trust your instincts. You may have been rejected by the army, but I daren't reject you.
Darn.
Thank you, sir. That pleases me.
As the jungle thins, it leads into a clearing. The grass has reclaimed the area, but the aged bones that are littered all around the clearing are unmistakable.
Ah, quite possibly a human feeding ground,
What do you mean?
where they meet and gather and eat their prey.
These bones, these are the bones of humans. Are you suggesting they eat each other?
How can you tell that they're human bones? Bones are bones to me.
May I see the map?
Yes. Kolo will bring his map over.
He'll look around. A massacre happened here. Long before my time. They say it's a massacre, but it was of those filthy animals. Hardly a massacre.
Ah, then it would have been a glorious hunt.
It wasn't really a hunt either. They were just bringing some back to captivity when one attacked, and they decided they would all get punished.
Kolo takes out a pencil and just makes a quick note on his map.
One of the porters calls out, "I've found something."
Jamila's gonna go have a look. Something could be interesting.
He is on the far side of the clearing near the jungle, and you can see a box of rations, and he is bending down to pick it up.
Is that one of ours?
He glances at you briefly and says, "Yes."
Suppose that means we're headed the right way.
So whatever did this to our camp ransacked us while they were at it.
Took some supplies before burning the rest.
But why not take it all?
Perhaps they couldn't carry it all.
Well, the porter's there, and Cole's way over here, so he'll wait till the porter brings it over to him, I guess.
So you can see the porter is pulling on it a little harder. Considering its size, it probably should have come up easier than it did. And when it does suddenly come up, there's a crack, and you can see a small rope attached to it. And from the jungle next to them, a 4-foot log swings out of the jungle and smashes into the porter, lifting them off their feet and then depositing them about 8 feet back. Jamila can see several large spikes on the log. Some are now broken where there is red blood from the ape.
She's a little bit stunned and looking from the dead ape to the clear trap that was set up.
Colo changes out of their red shirt.
Humans can't do that.
What is this contraption? This is obviously a trap.
Yes. Very obviously.
There's Atticus looking up and down. Designed to kill. This would have taken some time to build.
What are we dealing with?
And the weight of this trunk here, this trunk, surely would take a number of apes or a number of human beasts to lift up into those trees.
Are the spikes that are on it, are they sharpened wood or what are they?
Okay. So the trap itself seems to be made from everything available in the area. The spikes are sharpened bones, looking like ones that they found in the boneyard. The main body is a wooden log. Vines have been used to wrap around to attach the items, as well as creating the pendulum.
This is... We don't know what we're dealing with. This is... If it is humans, then...
Are we equipped to handle this if this is humans? There's no way. I thought human, but...
I mean, I've heard... Well... They shouldn't be able to do this.
They mimic. They don't suddenly understand math and how to do this. But why would an ape do this?
Jamila is flipping through her notebook, going backwards to older pages.
Colo retrieves the ration package and takes a look at it and confirms it is indeed one of the ones that would have been just recently on their cart and such. So this is definitely ours. So they set it up between the time of taking our stuff and us getting here. So whoever set it up worked quick. Also, apparently planned for us to come.
I need to document this.
That the humans are growing intelligence, maybe. Or maybe they're just looking at us a lot more, so they're mimicking us in more ways than we previously knew, which means they're becoming more dangerous.
Mimicking? When have you seen any apes setting up a trap like this?
Maybe so, but this is the way, the mentality of the beast.
Perhaps not to make a trap with sharpened bones that would swing into an ape and kill them.
Jamila, would you like me to help you set up your camera so you can take a picture of this?
Please. And she is pulling her photography gear out. She wants to take a picture of this trap. Obviously, it's can't do video, so we can't show it in motion. But she just wants to try and get a picture of what it is.
And if Atticus stands right there next to it, they'll get a good idea of the size.
Yes, someone should stand next to it. It's not going to kill you. It's already done what it does.
Colo does look like they're thinking hard at that, though.
Atticus will stand next to the trap triumphantly with his
Like he's killed
one
it?
hand on his hip.
That's
Yeah,
just-
like he's
So now they'll think you did this.
His foot on the dead porter.
oh, may the Lord giver take my soul one day. But as long as it's during a valiant hunt.
Are you done with your nihilism? Because I'm done taking the picture.
Ah, very good, journalist.
And she starts packing her gear.
All right, Colo, you first.
Are you sure we should rush in? We don't know what they're capable of, apparently. At this point, who is hunting who?
It doesn't matter. We will find whatever did this.
There's
And
been
we will
more
end it.
apes killed on this expedition than humans. Because, frankly, there have been no humans killed on this expedition.
Well, when we get to the humans, we will do our own massacre.
Unless they continue to surprise us with what they are capable of and they kill us all. They surprised us last night. They've surprised us today.
That was an unfair ambush.
Colo doesn't look too happy about being volunteered, but they will take point, being very watchful and not willing to pick up any other rations they find on the ground.
You move into a new area which is curtained and carpeted with a mass of twisted vines. The air feels heavy with dank forebodings. As you were being careful, you may give me a perception check.
A 6 and a 5 for a total of 11. I hear something that way, and I will move to try and put something between me and the noise, like a tree.
All right, it is initiative for the first time.
Are we surprised? No, we're ready, right? I would like to use a hero point to double my readiness.
Yeah, I think you're
initiative
rolling.
roll.
You're rolling
For
initiative
reflex,
then, right?
yeah.
Okay.
3 dice, yeah. So 6 dice. There we go. Okay, much better. 24 total. The last dice is a 3.
Okay, the party goes first, and you, specifically, as you're sort of the forefront, see several vines that are going to try and get you.
Murder vines. So if we back away and go around, we should be fine. I will try to fend it off as I back away from their range. I rolled a total of 11. Last dice is a 2. Yeah. So I attempt to move out of the way of the vines I can see moving, but it's the one that I didn't see moving that wrapped around my leg.
Okay, I'm going to spend a hero here. And I'm going to double my dice pool, which takes it from 2 to a slightly better 4. 13. Jamila is seeing what Colo is trying to do, understanding that she doesn't really have a great shot at fending these off and thinks that avoiding them is the best thing to do. She is only really paying attention to maybe 1 or 2 of them and not seeing others. So there are some that are within grabbing distance of her that she has not noticed.
Okay, well, I'm going to shoot the one that's attacking Colo, and I'm going to use a hero point to double my roll. So my roll is
Oh my God.
38 because
My gosh.
and my wild die is 5. I hit 14, so 28 damage.
It is wounded.
In surprise, Atticus raises his rifle to his shoulder, takes aim at the vine that's grappling Colo's leg, and shoots off a single round. The round explodes the end of the vine, making it let go of the flat-footed friend that is Colo. Take that, you murderous vine! You will not take my friend from me. Conquest again! And he raises his rifle above his head.
Oh, well, Janice would love to take credit for the one that the gorilla shot, so I will shoot that one. 14 plus 2, so 16.
It is wounded, which makes 2 wounds, which will make it, I believe, incapacitated.
He will draw from his holster his revolver and fire. A loud crack rings out as it hits the vine, sending plant matter, and the vine goes limp.
The second vine snaps towards Jamila. It is trying to wrap itself around her neck.
That's nice.
The vine wraps itself around Jamila's neck and pulls tightly and lifts her slightly off the ground.
A few moments is sort of kicking her legs, which are around, and scrabbling at the around her neck with her hands, and seems to black out and is still.
It is an initiative roll, as everyone has gone now, both sides.
6, 5, 2, so a total of 13.
Okay, you go first.
Excellent. Colo, being fairly close to where Jamila is going to rush over to them, grab the vine that's wrapped around her neck in each of their meaty paws, and then flex using their brawl to rip the vine straight away from her neck. They will also use a hero point for this. There we go. 44 total. Okay, so I successfully wrapped my hands around it to pull. I should have just done that and then doubled this. Oh well. I will use another hero point, so this will be my 3rd hero point. Colo leaps over, wraps their hands around where the vine is wrapped around Jamila's neck, and flexes from the shoulders, pulling outwards, and manages to pull the vine apart far enough for Jamila to slip from it to the ground, and then heaves the vine aside.
And she collapses to the ground because she's still unconscious, incapacitated. Yeah.
And if there's no further movement by the vines, then Colo will pick her up and pull her away from the whole area.
Atticus will walk up to the vine in its stunned state and bang!
Take that, you incapacitated vine.
Take that, you. Oh, and a 6 on my wild die. So I got 19 and a 6 on my wild die. So it explodes. The wild die is rolled again, and the result is added to the total. If the second roll is wild die, 6 and 6. So an ordinary success becomes exceptional success. So that's double damage. Or the player gains 2 hero points, or another player or ally in the scene gains 1 hero point. I shall give a hero point to Colo.
Oh, thank you.
And I shall roll because Colo was the one that gave me the opportunity to do this damage, and I did 18 damage. As Colo rips the murder vine away from Jamila's throat, Atticus almost triumphantly struts over to the vine and raises his rifle as it sort of writhes around, and he aims and bang, puts one single round into the base of it, and it ceases to move. Thank you, Colo. Your flat-footedness has saved us once again. I shall not forget your bravery. You have given me the chance to defeat this murderous beast.
Thank you, sir. Pull Jamila back and check them over. See if we can.
15 is your target.
Being much inspired by the veteran, Atticus, and feeling very proud of what they've just accomplished, they will use a hero point and share roll the right one. Oh, there we go.
Oh.
6.
Oh,
Oh, yes,
no,
but
you're
it's-
one.
6.
You're one shy.
It's a failure, but
But the wild dice is a 6.
yeah, which means it's in that case it's an exploding dice or nice try.
Or nice try.
Yeah, so exploding dice, you keep rolling the 6 and add to it, or you can choose to accept a nice try. The roll fails, but you get 1 hero point.
No,
So if you reroll the 6
explode
and
it.
add it, even if
Yeah.
it's a 1,
Yeah.
you'd get to 15, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we will do that one. Adding 3 more, so that 14 becomes a 17. Colo has moved Jamila from the immediate area of the vines and laid them down in a patch of grass and is essentially just massaging the neck where it was constricted and trying to make sure they were all straightened out so that any breathing is as unrestricted as possible. They had seen somebody before tilt the head back. They're not quite sure why, but they will attempt to do that a little bit too. And watch eagerly for them to, I don't know, wake up. Kind of clapping them on the side of the cheek a little bit. Jamila.
And after a minute or two, she will sort of splutter back into consciousness, coughing rather desperately, and then realize that she is now able to breathe and sit right up and just look around to make sure there are no more vines.
You're going to have an awful bruise on that neck, but I think you're okay.
I think I think so. Yes, I'm fine.
The danger's past. Atticus managed to kill the thing.
Good. The thing, right?
Yeah, plant, it seemed. Help Jamila to their feet and then go get the gear again that Colo was carrying and dropped.
All right, and Jamila, she will stand back up.
Well done, sir.
Why, thank you, Colo. How is the journalist?
They seem to be up and around. Slinging the packs back on my back.
How is your throat, little one?
She looks at Atticus and says, I'm fine, I think.
Yes, there are many horrors out in the wilderness, not only humans, but nature itself. The lawgiver does test us in many different ways.
Like I said, make a note of this.
I sense there's a bit of animosity with you, Janice. Perhaps a statesman as such as yourself is not really fit to wander the jungles.
Well, you are not being paid for your opinion, but for your expertise.
Well, one would have thought that you would know of such things.
That is not my job to know. If anything, it
There-
is yours.
There are not supposed to be any humans intelligent enough to craft traps such as we have seen.
Jamila, if you are fine to move on, we shall get started tracking these evil beasts.
I am fine. I have a sore throat. I can walk. I am fine.
Very well.
You find in the center of a small clearing a shallow pit. It is filled with the remains of burnt sticks and small logs and animal bones. You can give me a investigate roll.
An old human encampment, perhaps.
23. There are more boot prints like we saw back by the stream, but they don't look like any boots I have ever seen any ape wear. They don't look the same, but the animal bones, I think, are from a meal. It looks like a fire pit. It looks like someone was cooking.
Then they rested here. How would they have time to have rested and cooked a meal? Atticus is looking around with his gun ready.
It could be from before. I mean, I do not. There are any hot coals. It seems cold. It would not be from just now.
Humans don't usually wear boots, do they?
But where would they get boots that do not match any kind that apes have? Or are you suggesting they can make them now?
For the mere fact that you can't recognize the tracks is perhaps above your ability to master the tracking.
Please have a look yourself and tell me what these boot tracks match with. I am going to. She's getting out her camera and taking a picture of the fire pit.
So their whole boot at the end would be shaped differently. I mean, I'm wearing half sandals, so my toes can be out so I can grab things like when I'm climbing.
And Atticus looks down at the little toe he has linked around his neck. I believe you might be right, Colo.
I don't know how they'd be making boots, though. Someone should have noticed that long before now.
I mean, there have been rumors of things.
Is that the same thing as those evil sky humans?
No such thing.
As I said, there have been rumors. Unconfirmed.
Yes, children's stories.
We've certainly published enough about them at the publication that I work for.
No, we should keep looking then if they're not here.
Whatever it is, I will let it best.
If it is something truly unprecedented, if humans are gaining intelligence, surely it's something we need to document, report.
You can document all you want about it after we kill it.
Wouldn't it be worth study? If humans are able to build traps to make clothing, is that not something that scientists would wish to investigate, not dead specimens?
You would think it would be an amazing find.
Whatever it is, it's better dead than alive. It's made that clear.
First, we have to capture or attempt to capture it anyways. It may not let us.
If we kill it and then there are more like it, well, then I would think studying and understanding would be more beneficial in the long run. It is hard to beat an enemy you do not understand.
Unless they're unconscious and in a sack.
Atticus looks down at his rifle. Easy enough to shoot from a distance. Your conversation is way above my pay grade. I am here to guide you to hunt humans. And we shan't waste our time musing over bones and boots. Let's move on.
All right. Well, Jamila's taken her picture, so she'll move along.
The area becomes more claustrophobic, and the tangle of tightly set trees are thick and tight with limbs and twisting vines. It is making movement difficult. I would like a dex roll. Or you can add a skill to it if you have a skill related to movement.
I am inexplicably suddenly great at movement.
Kolo's probably the largest of the people here and are carrying a lot of gear. So they pass the gear through the roots first and then squeeze painfully between each root as they go. But they are also very strong. So it's just a matter of pulling themselves through.
Jamila is climbing over the roots rather than trying to go under them. And while she is normally trailing a little bit behind, and she still is last in the order, she's keeping up better than she expected to, and is not far behind the rest of the group at all. She's quite close on Janice's heels.
And Atticus is in the same boat as Colo, but is helping Colo drag the rucksacks through the vines, and it's openly obvious that he's a bit frustrated by Jamila in her ability to navigate through the vines so easily.
Hey, she was due some good luck after being strangled, okay?
He will cut the stuff in his way. He'll chop away at the vines and walk through.
If Kola notices them having a hard time, he will go back and use their strength to just pull the roots apart so that Janice can just walk through. Always trying to be helpful.
As Colo is holding the vines for everyone that is behind to get through, the remaining porter slips on one of the roots and falls forward, and there is a thunk, and he does not move anymore.
Okay, well then Jamila was next to last because she was behind Janice, so she's gonna. If he slid forward, he might have like bumped her foot or something. She's gonna turn around and try and see what's going on.
And he's leaning forward against one of the roots, but he is not moving.
She's gonna bend down and, I mean, not really knowing what's going on. First assumption would be maybe he tripped on a root while walking. She's gonna try and see what is happening.
And he's a little hard to move, and there is a snap, and then he falls back, and he has what seems to be the remains of a sharpened stake in the center of his chest. The remainder of it seems to have been deliberately camouflaged with vines next to one of the stumps.
Call ahead, not super loudly, because I've been being all help. I was choked and I'm raspy now. She's gonna call ahead to the people walking forward. There are more traps along the path.
Be careful as you go, sir. Colo mentions to Janice, letting them get past them, and then looking back for looking to see if there's anything on the porter that needs to be picked up and carried along.
What do you mean, more traps? And Atticus walks over.
She gestures and shows the stake that was clearly partially camouflaged.
Atticus scratches his head. We're going to have to be careful.
I'm feeling oddly tired. I think I'll stay behind.
Meaning what? Here, just in the
No, I am
woods alone?
saying I insist you go ahead.
Very well.
Janice, you worm, you afraid?
I value my life more than others value their own.
Well, if you're saying you wish to finish the expedition, we can always all return.
I came to hunt humans.
And I say again, at this point, who is hunting who?
We are hunting the humans. We have to
I'm
kill
not
this
so
human.
sure. What would you call it if you set traps for animals? Are you hunting them, or are they being clumsy fools?
Well, the animals, of course, are clumsy fools. All right, Janice, it's your life. If you want to weasel your way out of this one, more pay for me then, I guess. As long as there's a bonus in it for me at the end of the day.
I have no real interest in continuing this expedition for its own sake. However, I will say I find my chances of survival more likely if I stick with the two who know the area than if I try and return with Prefect Janice here. So I wish you the best of luck, Prefect.
I have to spell it out for you buffoons. I am merely staying at the rear.
But sir, that's where the porter died. Kolo will just shrug and move back up the line towards
Jamila will
Atticus.
switch places with Janice, who wishes to be at the end of the line, and continue.
You enter an area which has a wide swath of spotty jungle, and it gives way to patches of beautiful ape-sized bulb-like plants mixed with strange, squat, grey-black honeycombed fungi. They stretch in every direction.
I think I've seen these before, sir. I think they're fairly safe. We just have to, not pull them up by the roots and take them with us. And I'll start striding forward.
No, please, those are not. Those are not safe.
Sorry?
Not safe.
Are you sure? They look...
Positive. They eat apes.
Oh. Okay. I will back slowly away.
And Jamila's sort of gesturing. The mushrooms, they emit clouds of spores, which will knock you out, which is not so much a problem on its own. However, the big bulbs, well, they have tendrils and they can grab you and they will eat you.
Oh,
If we can avoid them, we're fine. If we get too close, we're not.
These are definitely not the ones I was thinking of.
No, I don't know what you were thinking of, but I'm gonna say no.
I think Kolo is going to look for a long dead branch that he can use somewhat as a spear or a staff. And as he moves through, he will provide himself extra balance so that when he twists and moves through this stuff, he's less likely to bump into something.
I'm going to try and take as much as a wide an arc as I possibly can.
I guess Kolo is still going first. So after being warned that these things are man-eating and sleep-inducing, he is moving slowly and carefully. He's redistributed his packs as well as possible to make himself as most balanced as possible, front and back, and has his staff that he fashioned out of a dead piece of wood limb that he had just found, and is using that to help his balance and to gently maybe move tendrils out of the way without triggering them as he moves through.
Atticus has decided to take a similar path behind Kolo, letting Kolo go first so that if anything happens, then obviously it would hit Kolo first. Except he's trying to go a little bit wider because he's encountered such things before. And suffice to say, he does not appreciate death plants. He takes his time, following the similar path, but a little bit wider than what Kolo did.
Jamila thinks she sees a pretty clear path through this clearing littered with dangerous plants, and so sets off on it. But sort of halfway through her traversal of this area, she realizes that it isn't exactly entirely a clear path, and she has to double back a little bit because there is a patch of the mushrooms sort of directly where she's going, and she knows if she continues that way, she's quite likely to be knocked unconscious for the second time today. So going back, she ends up sort of following a little bit farther behind Kolo and Atticus because their path seems to be a bit safer. And she will make it across, but slowly.
Now that everybody has cleared a path for him, he will walk confidently through it.
You arrive at a den of matted grass and shallow mud. This dominates the area. Amongst the grass you can see bones. Some man and some animal. The smell of mud and rot is really strong here. And you hear a grunt and a growl. And in it, you see a large boar. It's about 2 meters from head to rump and would be close to 800 kilograms. This is a fearsome creature with razor-sharp tusks and a hard, thick hide. They're known to eat practically anything. This one might have been around for some time. They've been known to stick their snouts into holes, and you can see glowing maggots have been eating at its face. It is clearly in pain and enraged.
36.
You go first.
Atticus will raise his firearm. 22, which is... Okay, so I'm going to spend my hero point to do double damage, which is 29. So Atticus raises up his man-hunting rifle and he yells out, "You already bore me!" Bang! And shoots it in the face. And the bullet hits it square between the eyes. And because the boar's head are so armored and their bones are so enameled, the bullet ricochets off, doing a significant amount of damage and ripping a line of coarse fur and mud off it, but knocks it and dazes it for a moment.
Kolo, not wanting to close with this thing, will scoop up a rock from the ground and throw it with all his might at it, like a baseball. And I will spend a hero point to double the damage. I'm aiming for one of the eyes. Let's hope I hit. So Kolo looks around frantically, finds a rock, relatively jagged, picks it up, takes careful aim. It's been a while since he took out birds with stones, but theory should be the same, and he whips it at the boar's eye as it twists its head to the side after Kolo stuns it with his bullet. Takes it right in the eye.
Janice will confidently raise his revolver, and then a click. And then he will pull the trigger again, and then this time actually shoot.
It is stunned.
She's debating taking out her camera and trying to take a picture, but decides that maybe it's not the time. She instead will pick up a rock and try and throw it, because that's really the only way she can think of to attempt to contribute. No. So Jamila's going to pick up a rock off the ground and sort of just desperately fling it towards this boar, and is almost a little surprised when she does manage to hit it, that it is not a solid hit, and it just sort of bounces back off.
So the rock just sort of glances off it, and it's thrashing around trying to sink its tusk into any of the party that it can reach, but it, through the pain and the wound and the stunned, is unable to find its mark.
All right, so a 14 with the wild dice
It
being
goes
5.
first.
Yeah, I rolled 1, 3, 1, 2, 2, 5. So many low numbers.
Oh, so low. Yeah.
So my ready is 9.
The boar, with its one good eye, sees Jamila first, and it just, in its rage, charges forwards.
Okay, seeing it charge, but knowing that the blood is dripping into its eye, it just swerves slightly, and Kolo manages to sidestep into it, body slamming it somewhat off course from Jamila, but at the same time getting ripped by one of the tusks as it goes by. Kolo then, returning the favor to this thing, is going to grab a hold of it and wrestle it to the ground. Having been gored by the tusk on the way by, Kolo grabs the tusk and uses its speed as it goes by to swing it wide and drag it down to the ground. The one tusk he's holding into digs into the ground and it twists its neck as it hits and spins in a circle, taking damage as gouts of dirt and everything else fly up from its feet as they windmill in the air.
Kolo, hold it down. And Atticus walks up to it, points the gun at its ear, and shoots it through the ear. Polo, colour me impressed.
I think I hurt myself, though, sir.
We may make a warrior of you yet.
That's all I want, sir. As I get out from underneath the edge of it and try not to rip
Suck
out
it up, throw
my-
some dirt on it, you'll be fine.
I think I'll just bandage it, sir. And I will wrap something around it to
Probably
at
a
least keep
better
the
idea
dirt
than
out
hurt.
of it.
What a beast.
Thank you, sir.
This is truly worthy of a tale. We'll have to... And he pulls out his knife and starts hacking the head of the boar off. Well, and he's going to put the head in a sack and tie the sack up tightly. Yeah.
Sir, we'll have to come back for it later.
Yes, we will have to leave it here till later.
Jamila's going to take a picture of it.
Ooh, get one with Sir Atticus there.
Yeah, she'll. If he wants to pose next to the boar, she'll take a picture.
Of course.
Okay.
Okay.
She'll set up her camera, take a picture.
Yeah, let's continue. As long as you're up for it, Colo.
Yeah, I am, sir. Just as long as I don't have to carry a big worm-infested head, that's great.
You're feeling apely enough. You're feeling angry. We're going to get these humans for what they've done to you.
I think it was the ape, sir. But yes.
You come to a 10-meter wide fissure. It divides this area. It drops about 30 meters to the hard floor below. A storm has knocked down a tree, and this now lies across the gap, forming a bridge.
Okay. Kolo will, careful of his wound, but will apply some strength to it to see if it rocks at all or if it's pretty solid. Good. Seems stable.
Do we have rope?
Yes. I have some on my belt, sir.
Very good. Tie each other together. As if one of us falls, they're going to take us all with them. Or we can save them.
I think the first idea sounds like a bad one. I'm also unconvinced that the second would work.
Why is that?
Well, perhaps I am a little concerned that your first thought was if someone falls, it would take us all with them.
Oh, someone like me with my big girthy figure might drag you all to your plummeting deaths. But I can rest assure you that if someone like you, your little self, falls, you would hardly even be like a feather on the wind.
I'll go first, shall I, sir?
Of course, Colo. You are the bravest of us all. Just be careful, my flat-footed friend, for this is a round table that we have to cross. Not a round table, but a round stump, as he points to you. The curve is mightier than the foot.
Yes, sir.
There's your episode title. What?
The curve. What?
I will definitely keep that all in mind, sir.
Colo's like, oh, I hope he falls off this log.
All right, because you got -1, don't you, for being
No,
wounded?
I got. Yeah, okay.
Oh.
Thank you. Right. Oh God. Oops. that's
When
not
you were
what I
about
want.
halfway across, Colo notices one of the vines, which appears natural, but when he stood on it, it shifts suddenly. But it isn't a murder vine. It does drop a weight from underneath the log, which falls below, but it does create a somewhat swishing sound from the direction that you came from as a log comes swinging out of the jungle in line with the fallen tree.
Nicely
Anyone
lined up.
who is standing at the end of it,
Is it
Okay.
six?
Oh
Is it
no!
Is it 6 or 5? 6, yeah.
Atticus hears a crashing of branches and looks back just in time to see the big log falling through the trees, and he yells out, "Jump!" as he dives off to one side.
Jamila will duck to one side as well, basically just getting lower so that the log misses.
"Oh, look out, you fool!"
Being near the back, he would kind of, I guess, not see it coming, but have enough time to react and step back further instead of jumping to the side.
Kolo, hearing Atticus yell out, whips his head back around in time to see this log swishing over and everybody diving to the side. Doesn't have time to really react or anything, and it slams into first the pack that he's carrying on the front, then into him, lifting him up very slightly off the log, but between all the combined weight, he pretty much stops it dead. Unfortunately, when the log hit him, it doubled him over and he slammed his head forward into the log. And he's kind of just stuck there, draped over it for a moment, stunned.
As the log comes to a rest, Atticus will get up and run over to Kolo and make sure that he's okay. Another trap. Kolo, my flat-footed friend, are you okay? Yeah, you seem to have taken a big knock there.
And he just kind of takes a moment, wheezing a little bit because the air's been knocked out of him. I guess it's a case, sir, of the log giver giving and the log giver taking away, because I think it slammed into the stuff of yours I was carrying and I heard things break.
Well,
oh no, sir. I'm so sorry.
if anything was to happen to my stuff, that would be the least of my worries, because if anything happened to you, who would carry my stuff for the remainder of my twilight dwindling years, as much as I got left?
Thank you, sir.
I need someone to, at least support me when I go into battle like this, and you've taken 2 worthy hits for today. I shall recommend that the military be receiving a letter saying that you should have been recruited back 15 years ago.
Thank you, sir. You're very kind. I hope I can only be there to see your end. I will help Atticus move the log back out of the way and somehow just secure it off to the side so that everybody can get by on the log. Definitely need a moment, sir, and I'll sit down when we get to the other side.
You enter this small clearing. It is fully domed over by interwoven branches and filled with hundreds of colourful singing birds that seem to be watching you. There are 2 humans in the area. They are scruffy, haggard, but unlike any that you have seen. They aren't wearing furs and rags, but some form of clothing, and they have backpacks and pistols. They are clearly human, but different.
Okay, I didn't do it last time, but I am gonna this time. Jamila's setting up her camera, cause this is weird.
Atticus is going to shoot. I am shooting the male of the species. He raises his rifle and lets off a shot, surprised that they're also carrying weapons and wearing very odd clothing, but they must be destroyed, these apostate humans.
Apostate?
Perhaps the bullet ricocheted off a piece of equipment, which momentarily shocked him.
I'll take a shot. He'll draw his pistol, or I guess revolver, and as they both meet eyes, he'll pull the trigger first. Shoulder?
So Kolo, seeing the humans standing there and the gunfire starting to erupt from both sides, moves in a crouch to the side and presents a smaller target as they start moving to flank, but being cautious of the gunfire. I don't know how far you can move, but full defense will allow me to add Reflex or instinct dice code to any strength roll to resist physical damage?
The initiative. 11.
They go first.
They do.
These strange humans speak to one another. Not grunts or sounds, but clearly a language. And the woman shoots Atticus. And she hits. So she snaps off a shot, and possibly for the first time in Atticus' life, he feels what it is to be burned by a bullet as it cuts through the fleshy part of his leg.
Yeah.
The male shoots at the other largest
Me.
ape there, which is Curlo.
The other largest me.
And I believe that will hit, but you are full defense still. So how did...
Yes. My strength is 5d plus 2. Because I'm on full defense, I can add my dex to that. So that would be 8d plus 2. But I'm -1 for physically wounded and -1 for being shaken. So 8. So I'm down to 6d6 plus 2. If I've calculated that all correct. So that will be 23 with a 3 in the wild dice position.
So there's a loud crack, but then what sounds like a wasp going very close to Kolo's head. You are stunned from the action, and that is both of their goes. So it's now player action for anyone.
Jamila is still looking shocked because she had some suspicions that whatever they were dealing with was not your typical human, but hearing them speak was still a little much. But she is going to sort of snap out of it and look at Janice, probably, because from her thinking, he's maybe the person she has the best chance of reasoning with. And she's going to attempt to convince him that we shouldn't kill the humans. So, is that a contested roll against another player? We need to capture them. We can't kill them. This is unprecedented, unheard of. We need to figure out what's happening, and if we kill them, we won't.
And how do you expect us to capture them?
Incapacitate but not kill?
I don't know if we have the supplies to tend to their wounds and drag them back if we incapacitate them. They burned all of ours. Do you not remember that?
So you'd either be doing a straight perception or straight willpower roll, whichever's better for you.
I will do will. That's 3d6 plus 2.
And remember, you can spend a hero point if you want.
I'm not going to do that.
Oh, I am.
No. Well, I guess I have to. I can't let this.
You
I
don't
can't let you
have
have the
to.
advantage. I'm also spending one.
Okay.
19. The last one being 5.
26. Look, I make some great points.
He will sigh. Being convinced by the journalist, he'll sigh. He will lower his aim to her leg and fire. When it strikes her leg, she falls to the ground, and I suppose she doesn't raise her gun again.
Player action.
Kolo will rush the one still standing, I guess. Full speed, putting all the fear and panic into the charge. I don't know if I can close the distance. They're 10 meters away.
Yeah, that's fine.
And just run over them, I guess. So straight up brawl? So, oh, wow. That is really bad. 11 total with a 1 in the wild dice position.
But that is a hit. But something goes not quite right.
Okay. So Kolo charges them full tilt, panic in his eyes, panting, full on forgetting most of his ability and charging on all fours, getting up to the remaining standing human, grabbing them and starting to slam them into the ground over and over and over until whatever he just ripped further in his side on that charge causes him to suddenly just stop, look at the body on the ground, and then he keels over unconscious over top of the body.
Jamila, seeing that the one human has been rather thoroughly killed, is going over to the other one to ensure that she is not. Because she really wants to find out what's going on. So she's gonna go try and make sure nobody else comes over and shoots the woman. And also, if I need to do a medicine roll to stop her bleeding out from the leg or something, I will do that. Do I need to do
Okay.
a medicine roll?
Yep.
Is that knowledge?
It is knowledge.
Okay, I'm gonna put another hero because I have hero points to spare. I'm at 4, so I'm gonna double this because I'm not great at this. 23.
That is a pass.
Okay, she's just gonna basically take a scrap of fabric and tie the wound as tight as she can. She's not a medical professional in any sense of the word, but she's just trying to stop any more blood from exiting the body because at least she knows that that is bad.
I'm gonna actually make a roll to get over my shakenness. Oh god, with a 1 on my wild die. 8.
You're shaken.
Oh, he's dropped his gun and he's just. This is heresy. It should not live. As he points to the human female.
We need to figure out what's going on. If you kill them both, we never will.
We can't take it back.
Yes, we can.
No, we can't.
Why not?
It'll cause an uproar. And he throws his hands in the air and he sits on the ground and he looks away.
What does it matter if it causes an uproar?
This does not happen.
Well, clearly it does. And we need to figure out why and how.
No. It doesn't belong here.
Well, then we need to figure out why it is here.
You do that. Tie it up. When we do, then we kill it.
What? I don't even know what you're saying. Pull yourself together.
Find out why it's here, and then we kill it.
No. We're bringing it back. I'm not killing this human.
It
And
does
neither
not
are-
belong. It is against the
And
lawgiver's word.
neither are you unless you want to kill me first. And what does the law say about that?
Ape does not kill ape.
So, that's decided then.
You can take a photo of it, but you're not bringing it back. I will not have it. No.
And how are you going to stop me?
I will kill it before you have a chance to bring it back.
Over my dead body. So how are you going to stop me?
Perhaps you'll fall off a cliff. I don't know. But it's going to die nonetheless.
So you'll commit heresy to prevent what you call heresy?
I am not committing heresy.
Oh, but if I die because of you.
Enough. No one is killing anybody.
Thank you.
Janice, you heretic.
This is my expedition, and I get the final say.
You brought me on, and he points as a finger. You brought me on to kill humans. This does not
didn't
belong.
request your presence. They put you here.
And you were the one that brought me along.
We'll take them back, and we'll let them decide what to do with them.
Do you want me to tell the other prefects of your impotence in this operation?
I'm sure you can. It doesn't really matter, because he'll pass that along to me. So,
I warn you now. Take a photo before this human gets lost.
I believe the prefect said there would be no more killing.
I did not say I was going to kill the human after that. It is a long way back after all, and we have many miles to journey. Things can happen.
Then I
The
suppose
human might be too injured to survive such an arduous trip.
so might your flat-footed friend, yet I notice you haven't. So that was the quick start for the Planet of the Apes role-playing game. We really had a lot of fun playing it, and thanks for watching. Planet of the Apes is published by Magnetic Press Play, and the Kickstarter is still ongoing. So it's not too late to go and pledge on that if you are interested. There's a lot of really cool rewards, so we definitely recommend checking it out. Thanks so much again, and if you enjoyed it, we've got plenty of other videos you can go watch right now. Hope you have a great day. Bye.
Janice, you're paying us? Janice. Man, you there, ape. I'm sorry, let me go back.
You've just deeply insulted him.
Just call me a man. What's wrong with you, man?
There's not many worse insults than calling him a man.
Okay. Let me. Yeah. Hang on. You know what? I'm just reading Colo's background.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you have flat feet. Oh, I thought that was just like a euphemism or a metaphor or something.
A metaphor
But you do
for
have
what?
yes.
I don't know. Flat foot. Okay. Wait, you still keep the rejection letter?
Not only do I keep it, it fuels me, okay?
Fuels
Why
your
I use
heart.
it for my grip rolls.
That's a lot of hatred. I better be careful around you.
It's your like key item. This reject 15-year-old rejection letter.
It's like
I love that bit.
when you need
My
when you
favorite
want
is
some
just what
motivation.
it sounds like Atticus goes to check the horse to make sure. Wait, you actually have flat feet? I thought that was a metaphor. Wait, you rejection letter.
Searching through the gear. Wait, you still kept the rejection letter?
I'm sorry, sir. That was my bag. I should have had that on my horse. Thank you.
Also, why are you checking if my feet are flat? What?
What?
You flat-footed beast.
Bang bang.
Colo goes down with 2 bullets in him.
Atticus shoots anything that moves.